Chapter 1. Mitzi, sit. Mitzi looks up at me and tilts her head to one side. She wags her tail, but she won't sit. "Rrrr," I growl. Mitzi whimpers and lowers her tail. "Sorry, girl." I kneel and give her a hug. "I didn't mean to scare you. I'm just frustrated. Teaching you to sit shouldn't be this hard." Mitzi is a full-grown Airedale Terrier. Her short, wiry coat is mostly tan with a big black patch over her back. She has a long nose, a stubby tail, small ears, and a confused look in her eyes. The confused look is unusual for an Airedale. Airedales are usually very smart dogs. "Okay, let's try again. Pay attention." I stand in front of her. "Mitzi, sit." Mitzi chases her tail and barks. This is impossible. When Mitzi's owners brought her in, they warned me she was a little slow. I promised them I could teach her the basic commands. "There is no such thing as a dumb dog," I said. My grandmother, Dr. J.J. Mackenzie, taught me that. Gran owns an animal clinic, Dr. Mack's place. She says that all animals, even pets like cats, dogs, and guinea pigs, are wild at heart. Kids, too. I taught her that. My parents died when I was a baby, and Gran took me in. I don't remember them, but Gran tells me I have my father's freckles and my mom's temper. Gran says taking care of animals prepared her for having me around. Very funny. Some kids at school think I'm the luckiest person in the world living with all these animals. It is fun, I have to admit that. Gran lets me help out with her patients at the clinic, and I sometimes get jobs, like training Mitzi. Mitzi stops chasing her tail. I bet she's dizzy. "Come on now, we're not here to play, Mitzi, sit." Mitzi takes a step backwards. "Ruff!" she barks. I pull up gently on her leash and use my other hand to push down on her rear end. Once her tail hits the ground, she lies down and rolls on her back, begging me to rub her stomach. She thinks this is a game. If I rub her tummy, she'll think she can do whatever she wants in a training session. "Come on, girl, stand up." Mitzi rolls back over and stands up, giving herself a good shake. "Mitzi, sit." I push down her rump. She stays in a sitting position for half a second. "Good girl," I shout. I scratch between her ears and hug her. The best way to train dogs is to praise them for what they do right. That's enough for one day. I unclip the leash from Mitzi's collar and she takes off, running as fast as she can around the fenced yard. Mitzi is nothing like Sherlock Holmes, my old, slightly overweight basset hound, who's lazing in the shade by the oak tree right now. He's my only pet. But our house is attached to Gran's clinic, so I get to spend as much time as I want around dogs, cats, rabbits, hamsters, mice, lizards, snakes, birds, and the occasional horse or goat. "Maggie!" Gran calls out the back door. "You have homework to do. Let's go." Ugh. Homework. What a horrible word. Gives me the shivers. Don't get me wrong, I can do lots of things. I can shoot a 3-point shot, sometimes. Scrub the skunk smell out of a dog's fur. Even catch escaped guinea pigs. But homework? School? No, thank you. It's not that I don't try. I've been trying forever, it seems. But I always mess up. Gran has been getting serious about my grades. She keeps bugging me about asking for help when I get stuck and giving me the old, "You're almost in middle school" lecture. When that doesn't work, she trots out the, "You need to get good grades to get into veterinary school" lecture. I'm tired of being lectured. "I need to work with Mitzi a little more," I tell Gran. "Half an hour. I only have a little math." "I doubt that," Gran answered. "I'll give you 5 more minutes." 5 minutes of freedom left. As Gran closes the door, her cat, Socrates, squeezes out. Socrates is a big cat. He's a feline football fullback, all rust-colored fur and muscle. Gran named him after a Greek philosopher. He sure does lie around and think a lot. Sometimes he acts like he's guarding the clinic. Gran calls him a watch cat. Socrates streaks across the yard, leaps onto the trunk of an old oak tree, and quickly claws his way up to a thick branch. Then he slinks along the branch and lies down where he can see the whole yard, like a lion watching savannah. Show off, I say under my breath. Come here, Sherlock, I call. Let's show Mitzi how to do it. Sherlock gets up from his spot of shade and lumbers over to me, his long ears swinging and his tail wagging. Basset hounds are built low to the ground and can pick up smells easily. That's why I named him after a detective. Sherlock's nose is twitching, but everything must smell normal because he comes right to me. He lifts his droopy eyelids expectantly. Sherlock, sit, I say in a firm voice. Thump. His hindquarters hit the ground. Sherlock, lie down. He stretches out his forelegs until he's lying down. He waits for the next command. Mitzi is watching us. I hope she's learning something. Stay. I jog to the far end of the yard. Sherlock, come. He leaps to his feet and sprints toward me. Mitzi runs beside him. I kneel down and pet Sherlock. You are the best dog in the world, aren't you? A genius, an absolute genius. Mitzi puts her paw on my lap. When I reach for it, she rolls onto her back. Okay, you're a good dog too, Mitz. I scratch her chest and she closes her eyes in contentment. You just have to pay attention. You should watch old Sherlock here. He's a great teacher. Suddenly, both dogs prick up their ears and turn their heads towards the house. A car screeches into the parking lot next to the clinic. Looks like we have a patient.